This is the read aloud for the DNA and genes worksheet. So we're going to go ahead and start here. DNA is an essential molecule for life. It acts like a recipe holding the instructions telling our bodies how to develop and function. What does DNA stand for? DNA is short for deoxyribonucleic acid. What is DNA made of? DNA is a long, thin molecule made up of something called nucleotides. There are 4 different types of nucleotides: adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. They are usually represented by their first letter: A for adenine, T for thymine, C for cytosine, and G for guanine. Holding the nucleotides together is a backbone made of phosphate and deoxyribose. The nucleotides are sometimes referred to as bases or nitrogenous bases. So right here, are the backbones. These are made of phosphate, and in the middle are your nucleotides. And adenine goes with thymine, and guanine goes with cytosine. And you can remember this by saying apple in a tree, car in a garage. Okay? Different cells in the body. Our bodies have around 210 different types of cells. Each cell does a different job to help our body to function. There are blood cells, bone cells, and cells that make our muscles. How do cells know what to do? Cells get their instructions on what to do from DNA. DNA acts sort of like a computer program. The cell is the computer or the hardware, and the DNA is the program or code. The DNA code. The DNA code is held by the different letters of the nucleotide. As the cell reads the instruction on the DNA, the different letters represent instruction. Every 3 letters make up a word called a codon. A string of codon may look like this. So as you can see, this is 1 codon, this is 2 codon, 3, 4. So every 3 letter makes up 1 codon. But here there's a string of them, so there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different types of codon. Even though there are only 4 different letters, DNA molecules are thousands of letters long. This allows for billions and billions of different combinations. Genes. Within each string of DNA are sets of instruction called genes. A gene tells a cell how to make a specific protein. Protein are used by the cell to perform certain functions, to grow and to survive. Shape of the DNA molecule. Although DNA looks like very thin, long strings under a microscope, it turns out that DNA has a specific shape. This shape is called a double helix. On the outside of the double helix is the backbone, which holds the DNA together. There are 2 sets of backbones that twist together. Between the backbones are the nucleotides represented by the letter A, T, C, and G. A different nucleotide connects to each backbone and then connects to another nucleotide in the center. Okay? Only certain sets of nucleotide can fit together. You can think of them like puzzle pieces. A only connects with T and G only connects with C. Interesting facts about DNA. About 99.9% of the DNA of every person on the planet is exactly the same. It's that 0.1% that is different that makes us all unique. The double helix structure of DNA was discovered by Dr. James Watson and Francis Crick in 1953. If you unravel all the DNA molecules in your body and place them end to end, it would stretch to the sun and back several times. DNA is organized into a structure called chromosomes within the cell. DNA was first isolated and identified by Swiss biologist Friedrich Mischner in 1869. So what you need to do at the end right now is you're going to need to go and scroll down and read these questions and write the correct answer on another sheet. And then you're going to go and open the Google form and transfer the answer over. So you need to write 1, the answer, 2, the answer, 3, the answer, 4, the answer, and then you can input it into Google form. I'm going to read you the questions and the answer. Number 1, what does DNA stand for? A, double nitrogen argon. B, dioxide nickel acid. C, dioxyribonucleic acid. Or D, does not apply. 2, how many types of nucleotides are there in a DNA? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Which of the following is not a letter that represents a nucleotide in DNA? Is it A, T, C, or R? 4, 3 letters of DNA nucleotides make up a word called a codon, chromosomes, nucleus, or cell. What is another name for the nucleotides in the DNA? Is it chromosome, bases, genes, or backbone? 6, phosphates and deoxyribose, which is sugar, make up what part of the DNA? Does it make up the chromosome, the bases, the genes, or the backbone? 7, what is the shape of a DNA molecule called? Is it octahedral, covalent, double helix, or triangle, or triple triangle? 8, most genes within DNA hold instructions for the cell to make specific carbohydrates, chromosomes, lipid, or protein. 9, true or false, over 99% of the DNA in different human beings is the same. 10, what does Francis Crick and James Watson discover? Is it that traits were inherited from organism parents, the electron microscope, the chromosome in human cells, or the structure of the DNA molecule?